Welcome to the Spotlight Series. I'm your host, Scott Nerney. We're at the Coesit Inn on Tuesday night. Stop down, join us in the audience out here. You can see some live tapings of the Spotlight Series. Today we have a couple of stars of the Rhode Island Wave and their own podcast, PJ and Eric, or EMac as we call them in the newspaper. Welcome, guys.
How we doing?
Good.
Great to be here.
So, sports aficionados, experts, historians, and just general commentators. Does that pretty much label it?
I think so. Yeah.
Sports detectives is kind of what
Detectives,
we're
okay.
trying to coin ourselves as.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, just definitely aficionados and definitely people who appreciate the game and the in-depth stuff that you don't get to see on the field every day, but just the little things that tie everything together and make sports just relevant and awesome. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So, give us a little background. We'll start with you.
So been a sports fan, all New England fan my
Okay.
entire life. Biggest thing was I remember the '99 All-Star game. I was just a kid watching that, but my father made, like, I'm the youngest of five, pulled all of us in the living room to watch Ted Williams come out on the cart. But basically the 2003-2004 Red Sox, that was huge for us. Got to see a little bit of heartbreak in 2003, but really made 2004 worth it. I imagine he feels worse than that because he got to see Bucky Dent and Bill Buckner and go through all that heartbreak before 2004.
No, those were called expectants.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. We talk about this all the time. 1978. I was 9 years old when Bucky Dent hit the home run that broke the Red Sox heart. And in '03, he was 9 years old. So Aaron Boone home run off of Tim Wakefield was his
The equivalent, yeah.
of Bucky Dent for me. So that we both kind of had our baptism into Red Sox fandom.
I was much more fortunate having the following year be the revenge tour of the Red Sox. So
But when Bucky Dent, when Aaron Boone hit it, you're like, oh my God. And he was just sitting there, I knew it.
Yep.
well, see, that's the thing. Seeing it as a kid, it was almost like I was telling myself, don't get too comfortable with this lead in Game 7, but almost like expecting it, like, when's it going to happen? How's it going to happen? And it just slowly started to unravel right in front of me. And I'm like, this is what everyone's talking about. And then as soon as he hit it, it was, just that disappointing feeling that everyone was talking about. I was like, oh, I get it now. So.
And PJ, your background?
So and we're related to Eric and I. Eric's my nephew.
I wasn't going to tell people.
Oh, wow.
We're proud. We like to
it's all good,
throw
yeah.
that out there. You
Yeah.
know?
I'm just kidding.
So the way the podcast came about really was
Blender.
No, shaker.
Shaker? Was that the shaker?
Shaker.
I'm sorry. Go back to
Okay.
the podcast. It just sounded
so
louder.
the way the podcast came about was whenever we would get together as a family, inevitably the gathering would end with Eric and I standing in a corner somewhere just talking back and forth about sports. So Eric's birthday party a few years ago, we were talking and when we start a podcast.
Well, he said he got all the equipment for a podcast and then never ended up going through with it.
Because all the equipment was his iPhone.
It wasn't a whole lot. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think it was a microphone
Yeah.
and a couple pieces of recording
some free
equipment.
software
Yeah.
that I downloaded.
So he's talked about wanting to do a podcast, and I was like, well, we always end up sidebarring and talking sports anyway. Might as well just, I don't know, sit around, hit record, see what we get, see if it turns into
Sure.
anything. And we had probably a few episodes that didn't even...
We did. We started out just kind of practicing and trying to get our cadences down and learn how
Just
we
get
interact.
comfortable on microphone, really.
So after doing that for about a month and a half maybe or so, we started the podcast, and then boom, COVID.
So it's like,
so there was no sports to talk about.
we're going to be the one sports podcast that has no sports to talk about. So that was a battle in itself. So then we were like, oh, well, maybe if we go back and look at things past and try to diagnose those and see if we can uncover something, And that's how it all started. But then, obviously, sports came back. So it's like, okay, well, we can't ignore the sports that are happening right in front of us. So we try to do a little bit of both.
Yeah, so we'll kind of like each episode, we put out episodes weekly. And they'll roughly be probably 45 minutes to an hour somewhere.
Try to
in
keep it
there.
under an hour.
Yeah, that's what we shoot for. And then we'll kind of split it in half, where the first half is going over relevant points of things that are going on in the news today. Definitely focusing on New England sports primarily, but we'll also hit anything that's relevant on a national and even international level. I think.
When Olympics were around, definitely
Right,
cover
right.
that. So
And then the second half of the podcast will kind of take a look back at something that historically relevant, either an anniversary or something is in the news that references something that happened in the past. What we're doing right now, we just started our fourth season. We had a summer hiatus, and we just started our fourth season. And what we're doing now is we're doing a rewatch of the Red Sox 2004 playoff run. And what we do is every episode, we're going 3 innings at a time through the whole thing, starting with game 1 of the ALDS against the Angels. So that was what we covered in the last episode that we just watched. That we just recorded. And then next episode we do will be innings 4, 5, and 6 of game 1, and then we'll just keep going 3 innings at a time all the way through their run to the.
So it's like we're retelling their whole story.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one continuous thing.
And it's interesting going back and watching those games now, with the hindsight of knowing like what was going to happen and then where it's going to lead after that too. Because you see a lot of things that how the game has changed, and you don't notice it like day to day, but when you take a look back, over time, very slowly, it's almost like you talk about gaslighting in a negative way, right? Like things change very slowly over time and you don't notice them, but then when you look back 15 years, 18 years it is, right? It's just kind of incredible.
That's nuts.
Well, especially now, because if your head is thinking today and a manager comes out and talks to the pitcher and you're thinking, okay, he's only got 3 more times he can walk. Oh no, that's a lie. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Well, why is that guy pitching a one?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He can pitch one batter and then be pulled.
Right.
Yep.
So the game has changed a lot. And if you think when you were 9 years old, if a 9-year-old was watching that game, not really comprehending all of it, but some of it, and now 14, 18 years later, you're telling the story and that kid is remembering. I only remember pieces of that. So you're retelling it to now an adult who's listening to the podcast saying, oh, this is exciting compared to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
The biggest thing that I notice is just that the expectation of the starting pitcher pitching into the 7th inning.
I almost said that.
Like that's the biggest difference in the game between then and now.
Because there are openers now, but the starter was like, he tries to get you a full game, tries to complete that game, and it's going to take a lot to talk him out of going back in or wanting to go back in. Now they have openers where it's like, get us 3 good innings and that's fine. We'll put someone else in. So that's
when you go back, and this could be a great article for the paper at some point to relive the Tony La Russa strategy of having 3 different pitchers or 2 different pitchers. One year when he was at Oakland, and he said, I want one pitcher to pitch the first 3 innings, and then you're sitting. And you'll come back on so many days and you'll pitch the second 3 innings. And to me, it was ingenious. Yeah. But they fought it because, I can't get the win.
Right. Baseball is going to have to do something, I think, to change. I think to keep up with that, because it seems like it's going in that direction more and more. And
they already implemented that you have to pitch to 3 batters at least, which takes away the whole, all right, we'll get a lefty-lefty matchup and then pull him. So that take that off the table. But the fact
beneficial. That a starting pitcher has to go 5 innings to qualify for a win, right? I don't think you're going to see starting pitchers pitching 5 innings. That often.
Yeah.
So it's
And you cover a lot of the sports. So you cover hockey as well.
We do, yes. He's more of the hockey guy. I'm more of the NBA guy.
Okay.
I love keeping tabs on the NBA, and that's Celtics, obviously. So I just love staying on top of the Celtics and following them. They had a great year this year. They've been consistently a really good team and at the top of their conference for the last 5, back when I say time. So I'd say like 2016. So the last like 6 years, they've been on top of it. Probably one of the more consistent New England teams that we've been seeing lately.
Late, for sure. Yeah.
He's the Bruins guy. I know they made some moves this offseason, but it seems like some injuries are gonna affect the team early in the season.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
going to have the Providence Bruins playing in Boston for a while.
A
Essentially,
little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
essentially.
see how that works out.
And then the firing of the coach.
Right.
So who got picked up immediately. So it almost like that's telling you, you sure this is the right move?
Yeah.
But
I think Patriots Red Sox is kind of where we meet, right? So
yeah, definitely.
I think that's probably what we talk about maybe the majority of the time.
Well, I think
And
baseball
then-
was our biggest passion.
Yeah,
that
baseball
we
is
shared
definitely
because we both played
Well,
it. He
'cause
still
there's-
plays.
Yeah.
There's really no off season. I mean,
Yeah.
the winter meetings
Yeah.
Mhm.
are just a cooling off period from the physical to the mental part.
Yep.
And
Right.
then it starts up
Yeah,
again,
it's a long season.
barring no strikes.
Right.
It starts up
yeah.
again
Yeah.
really early, still
Mhm.
snow on the ground.
Mhm.
You know, the old truck heads down to Florida.
Yep. And
Right.
probably March, I want to say. So it's like, yeah, you get very, very little time off there.
Baseball and football both do
Yeah.
a really good job. Football, I feel like, does a really good job of staying in the news all year round too.
Yeah.
Definitely staying in the news, but also it's I feel like a lot of people are drawn to football because it's easier to follow. It's not you're not committed to watching 162 games like you are in baseball. It's now it's 17 games, but it's like, hey, we'll put it on a Sunday when most likely you have it off. Every here and again, we'll throw a Thursday night or a Monday night in there for you. But I think it caters to most people's schedules. Everyone has that time off. Usually with family, it's just an excuse to get together, cook some food, and root for your home team. So
It's an event,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Baseball is more of a, and we love baseball. Nobody loves baseball more than we do.
Mhm.
And I'm like Eric mentioned, I still play. I play in a men's over. I'm actually a player manager of a men's over 50 hardball like baseball team, and
The ball comes at you fast at that age.
it does. Yeah,
I just play softball. That's it. That's why I'm not quite committed like he is.
yeah. I'm a little crazy, but
So if I was to ask which of the four major sports groups, we'll leave the Revolution out, sorry, Mr. Kraft, who wins the next championship?
it's got to be the Celtics,
Probably say the
right?
Celtics, yeah. Just because of their consistency, which, I mean, when Brady was on the team, hands down the Patriots were more consistent. But just after the 2 years that he's been in Tampa, they've been like a roller coaster up and down. They look good this week. The following week, they throw it all away. The Celtics, I feel like, are always getting to the playoffs and have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals probably 4 or 5 times in the last 6 years. So I'd say the Celtics have a really good shot. And they actually did make decent moves to improve their team in the offseason. Whereas, as we saw with the Red Sox, you get rid of a couple guys and then you don't replace them. It's like, okay, well, how is this team improving here? So
It's tough to figure out who would be number 2 on that list for me.
That's going to be my next question.
After
yeah,
the
number 2.
Celtics.
Oh God, see.
You know, I mean,
Um,
it's really hard. I would put the Bruins probably at the bottom, I think,
I
of the 4.
would say that the Bruins, if they don't get it done this year, then yes, I would put them right at the bottom.
Right.
This is a very important year for them. I think it's the last year they can do
They're
anything.
coming at the end of that.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm not
with
saying
that-
it's
with that group,
impossible,
and then it's
but-
a total rebuild.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
I almost wonder if you look at the Bruins, if they could play 500
Yeah.
hockey until January, and then
Right.
they
Right.
basically pick up all their free agents, which are their injured players.
Mhm.
They could be a heck of a second run
Yeah.
once they get the rust off.
And then just like, and I'm pretty sure we've said it on our podcast, in the NHL playoffs, it seems like no matchup is like a matchup to sleep on. Like
Yeah.
the 1s versus 8s is just as intense as the
Right.
4s and 5s.
Absolutely. More
So
than
anything.
any other sport.
And,
Yeah.
and the playoff hockey is, to me, you can't
Electric.
beat the playoff
It's a
hockey.
whole nother
It's-
level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Those guys are crazy. I mean, you've got to be a professional hockey player. You know, the beating that they take, and then
Yeah.
sometimes go out the very next night.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
skate in the morning, play in the afternoon, take a bus or a plane ride to a different city, and the same thing tomorrow.
yeah.
Some of the toughest guys out there. Who was it? Campbell broke his leg,
Yeah.
finished his shift. Another guy has a heart attack on the sideline. wakes up, is like, am I going back in? He's like, no, he almost died.
And when you hear about the injuries that Patrice Bergeron had in the playoffs one year, like a collapsed lung and like broken ribs.
Yeah.
Those guys
Patch
just keep
me up.
playing.
Yep, exactly.
Crazy.
Where can people find the podcast?
I had a really bad blister
Oh,
today,
yeah.
but I still went out there.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's a blood blister.
Suck it
Oh,
out.
so I made it through. It was all good. Yeah.
So you can find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What's the YouTube?
Just Sports Theory podcast, and look for our logo with the iconic monocle / magnifying
It's a
glass.
magnifying glass. It's not a monocle.
And that's where you'll find us. We have Twitter and Facebook.
Gmail is Sports Theory.
Sports Theory
guys.
Yeah, Sports Theory guys. at
People can
Gmail.
write in and say, hey, do
Yeah.
something about blank.
If we say something wrong and you
Get some
want
of
to
those
correct
NASCAR
us.
fans will write into you. Or,
I
Oh, man.
don't know too much about NASCAR.
I don't know if we've ever had a NASCAR minute.
I don't think we have. No, but I'm sure.
I mean,
I
the
could dig up
chase
a couple.
just got finalized. You missed Daytona. Come on.
I'm sure we could dig up a couple.
Yeah,
dates.
we could try something. I
You
don't
asked
know.
us
I
about
just don't know
pickleball
anything about
earlier.
it.
Pickleball,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big thing.
Not off the table yet, but we haven't covered it.
The guest we had on before you, her husband plays in a professional table tennis league up in Lincoln.
That's funny.
Wow.
I just got a ping pong table topper for the pool table at my
Yeah.
house, so I've been getting into it. I could see that. I break a sweat playing. I'm not gonna lie.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah, it is. It is intense.
Competitive table tennis.
Some of those, you know.
I've seen it in the Olympics. Yeah, it's no joke.
Oh, yeah. She said he's Forrest Gump level. I'm like, I'm
Wow.
not that good.
Yeah, no
crazy.
thanks. That's intense.
Well, guys, we often finish up our fun video with a little tribute to James Lipton for the questions he used to ask celebrities.
Okay.
So, you ready?
Yeah.
I
Yeah?
guess.
You seem kind of nervous?
a little bit.
Definitely.
All right. What's your favorite word?
I don't think I can
Yeah,
say it.
I was
This
gonna
company.
say. That's tough.
Now, see, he used to ask favorite swear word, so I try to clean it.
Yeah, no, you
If it's a
did.
swear,
I'll
that's
clean
okay.
it up a little bit, and I think I would say absolutely.
Flawless. I love the word
Flawless.
flawless. Yeah.
Huh? What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, God, that's a tough one. Sound or noise that I love? I don't know. You got anything on this
The
one?
thing that popped into my head right away is just the pop of a catcher's mitt. You know what I mean? When
That's a
you-
great sound.
Nice.
Even that or a wooden bat.
That's
Not the
Definitely.
pop from a Wakefield knuckleball.
No,
Just,
no.
It's got to be a fastball.
Yeah,
or a slider.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Going off of that,
Catcher's
actually, I went to a game in Camden Yards, and it was when Chris Sale was pitching. This is 2018.
That's a rarity, huh?
Exactly. He was actually pitching.
That doesn't happen that often.
I was all the way out in left field, and he was throwing gas that day. He was throwing 98, but you could hear the crack
That's
like it was
awesome.
right next to you.
The sound
I don't know
of
if
a
it was the
baseball game.
stadium and just the way it was designed where the sound could travel that far, or if he
Yeah.
was really throwing that hard.
That's
But
awesome.
it was almost like I was sitting right next to the catcher. That's how loud it was. So that's funny that you said that, the pop, because that's
If you could do something with 0% chance of failure, what would you try?
Oh wow.
managing a professional team. Love to do that. Like almost like Billy Bean, Oakland A's style. 0% chance of failure. That's I like those odds.
Yeah, I do too.
What would you do? Would you be the oldest rookie in the MLB?
If I had a 0% chance of failure,
Yeah.
yeah,
That sounds like a good
I would
one.
want to pitch. I would want to pitch in the major leagues.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you pitch in your league you
I
play
do.
now? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're still working on it. You could still enter.
Yeah.
He's better than me. I warmed up with him the other day. It was 2 days ago. My shoulder still hurts. I
Did
didn't
you
hear
pitch
him
in
say a
college?
peep.
No, I did not.
So you're still eligible.
There you go.
For
Right.
4 years.
We actually had the pleasure of being a host family this past summer for a couple of kids that played for the Ocean State Waves, which is a New England collegiate baseball league team, like a summer league,
Yeah.
kind of like the Cape Cod League, right?
Okay.
And so we had a couple of kids on the team stayed with us for the summertime. So and it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Did you play with them? You didn't play with them, did you?
I wasn't going to catch 95.
Fair enough. I don't think I'd put myself in harm's
I
way.
could only
either.
catch 95. He was going to hit the glove, and I had a lot of hands behind it to
I
hold
was
it.
not-
And I didn't have to squeeze it, kind of like the Sandlot, where it's
Yeah,
just going to go right
and
in.
if it wasn't going to hit exactly the glove, I would miss it.
Yep.
But it was cool having that connection, and just talking baseball with them and having somebody
Their perspective
common
on it.
interest. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were both. They both are collegiate players.
Did they talk about like who
trying to
they're?
get into the draft and
They talk about who their fans were, like who they're fans of right now.
yeah. One of them is a Yankee fan, and
Mhm.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
So
unfortunately.
that wasn't on the interview perspective.
unfortunately not. Yeah, what could we do? We couldn't kick the kid out, so
But did he watch the game and like start calling out like John Sterling? Here comes the
he
judge.
did not. No,
Okay,
no,
good.
he was very low key.
Okay.
And the other kid was a Baltimore Orioles fan.
Well, did
Wow.
they say specifically like who they're fans of?
Like beforehand?
No.
or-
Like, is he like a Trey Mancini fan,
Oh.
or is he like a Mike King fan because he pitches?
They didn't say specifically. I
No,
don't know.
okay.
Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah,
just wondering.
yeah, I
Now
don't
I'm
remember,
interviewing
but-
him.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
huh?
Nice.
Nice.
But I know Brooks. I'm assuming that he may or may not have been named after Brooks Robinson. Maybe
That's a fair
I guess,
assessment.
but it was just kind of cool getting a look at they're going through like one of them was in the process of transferring from one college to another, so seeing them go through that process and talking to different schools and talking to him about it, what he's looking for in his situation and where he's going, and they're chasing the dream, and it's pretty cool to see that up close.
Sounds like a good
Yeah,
article
great time.
for the paper, and
Yeah, I did write an article on the team, on the Waves, but I didn't write about it from that perspective, though.
Yeah.
But,
because you figure if you've got 20, 25 guys on a baseball team, and how many of them are truly thinking, I'm the one, I'm going to get drafted.
I think they all are at that
Yeah.
point.
You kind of have to. If not, what are you even doing there? So
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah,
Other than the free education, but if you're going there to play ball, you're going there to play ball.
yeah.
Right, absolutely.
Guys, it's been a heck of a pleasure.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of you
Pleasure's
being
all
a fan in the paper. I'm
It's
definitely
great
a fan
writing
of
for the paper.
podcast, and
writing my column, and I know that
I thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have the opportunity to exercise, my creative side and have an outlet for, this kind of thing, which I really enjoy. And so it's great having it.
Well, we'd like to have you back at some point after
I'd love to.
we'll talk a little more in depth
Absolutely.
in sports,
For
and
sure.
maybe you'll branch out into some of the other sports that I'm sure a lot of our fans are probably asking, dying
Dying
to
to
hear
know about
about
that
your ideas
pickleball.
on snooker
Snooker is a hell of a game.
and the PBA Pro Bowlers Tour
That's some interesting stuff right there.
Curling.
and curling.
Curling.
Curling, come
He
on.
almost put together his own curling team. I didn't make the cut, but
I mean, in the prelims for the Olympics a few years ago, you could drink beer while you were playing.
Crazy.
could you
right?
really?
Yeah,
I didn't
they
know
allowed
that.
it.
I know they do that with the cornhole. The cornhole, well, it's like a don't ask, don't tell what's in your thermos, but yeah, you're allowed to hold the thermos, so
Yeah.
that's
So,
funny.
This is what people want to hear about.
We
Yeah.
do talk gymnastics from time to time. My daughter is the assistant coach at Rhode Island, the Rhode Island College gymnastics
Oh,
team.
nice.
So we've had her on once or twice to talk about specifically like around Olympic time. We'll talk about.
There's another sport where kids get in to stay fit, kids get in to play,
Mhm.
and the dreams of, can you go to that next level? There's,
Yeah,
2 people, 3 people a
It's
year
crazy.
on the whole country.
Yeah,
so many of them trying to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
we talk soccer too. We U.S. women's national soccer. We talk a lot about because they're the superior team. The men's national team
Right.
doesn't do anything, but the women's have been consistently on top. My sisters are huge fans of them too, so there were times where I was waking up and we were meeting up at 4 a.m. to watch them play because they're playing halfway around the world. So it's fun. I've definitely brought that
Yeah,
onto
absolutely.
the air before.
So
so.
between 2 and 10 years, you'll have a soccer team in Pawtucket.
Right.
Is that so?
Well, because building a stadium.
Yeah.
I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. I don't know what league.
That's
it's-
why I say between 2 and 10 years.
Yeah, because you never know. Yeah.
Right.
If it's anything like the roads here, then yeah, maybe in a decade and a half we'll see it.
That's funny.
All right, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah,
really
thank you,
appreciate
Scott. Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us.
We're big fans and continue the great work.
Thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
thank you.